Good evening. This is Don Burgess. I'm here with Tourism Minister Jamal Simmons. We're at Shelly Bay Park, where you can see a little bit of atmosphere with the steel pan and some vendors out here, and there's a decent crowd out. Minister, a decision was reached earlier today. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I think that one of the things I want to stress, first of all, that from the beginning, the government has been about collaboration, and the consultative process, even up till this morning, was still ongoing. What we wanted was a product that the community would embrace, that matched the community values and the values of the beach as it exists now. So when we saw that there were protesters, we felt, you know what, we need to talk to them, get some understanding, and get a sense of something that the community is very passionate about. And we did that. And they made some very clear guidelines in terms of what they felt should happen and what shouldn't. And as the Colonel mentioned on the radio earlier today, we're going to take those recommendations back to Cabinet and we're going to deliberate from there. But I think that one of the things that we understand as a government is that it's not about us, it's about the people we're elected to represent. And so when we began this process, I asked the Bermuda Tourism Authority, who drove it on my behalf, 2 questions. Have you talked to the area representatives and have you talked to BEST? And they said, we've talked to BEST and the environmentalists and they're happy, but they hadn't talked to the MPs. I said, let's talk to the MPs and let's get the community involved and get the feedback. We want to enhance the product. We want to do different things around the island, but the best product is one that highlights what Bermudians like and Bermudians enjoy and create an energy that draws people in. I think that's where our strength is, when you have that community interaction. I could put Disney World here, but it doesn't mean that our tourists will have a good experience if there's not the Bermudian element in that. So tonight, part of what we said is that, look, we've reached an agreement that there will be a form of concession and there will be a form of events such as fish fries. This is the possibilities, and I've asked the community to come back and let's continue to talk about it. But I think that we've reached a level of agreement that the parks are run by government, and what happens in the parks has to go through government. It doesn't go through the BTA, it doesn't go through me by myself, it doesn't go through Jack Spratt. And so what the community wants will be the driving force of everything.
Yeah, you talked about fish fries, and the line for SIDS started early, and people were looking forward to tasting what he had to offer.
Well, I mean, the thing is that when we look around the Caribbean and our competitors, fish fries are a normal thing. And so whether it's here or somewhere else, it is something that Bermuda can do, and I strongly believe we can do better than anybody else. I mean, everybody's got fish, but not everybody's got SIDS or Art Mel's or Woody's. So, you know, we can do things a little better here. And I think that this is a taste of not necessarily what Shelly Bay could be, but what we can do if we work together with the communities and create something that will be community loved and draw tourists.
So specifically, what's going to be some of the recommendations going forward from now?
The recommendations that we are taking to Cabinet, Colonel Birch and I, is that there be one concession and occasional events, but we're waiting for a formal proposal to come back from us. And we've also embraced the concept of the access for the physically challenged, and that's something that we actually were examining already, and there actually are in place several things that can be restored or expanded upon that can get there. And what I think is important to note is that when the parliamentary system was first established, it was established with a mindset that said, you send people over there who know better, and I'll leave them for 5 years to figure out what it is because I don't know any better. And we live in the 21st century where anybody can go online and Google, they can research, and so we have a more informed public, we have a public that is more empowered, and as a government we want to ensure that that knowledge, that empowerment, and that informed process is a part of what we do going forward.
So access for the disabled, what area are you looking at to make it more easy for them to get to the beach?
Well, I have to let the Colonel speak on that because there actually are several plans in place right now, but what we wanted to make sure is that for people who want to be able to get into the water and camp because of wheelchairs and things of that nature, and I think that the points that the protesters raised were very valid, and there were points we were looking at already, but to be able to make this expand the family atmosphere, to allow more members of the family to be able to participate is something we support and we're glad to embrace.
Now, I noticed the picnic tables were added for this event. Are the picnic tables going to stay, or are you going to move them to a different location around here, or what's going to happen with them?
Well, what we wanted to do tonight in particular is to allow the public, particularly our seniors, to have a place to sit. And as we continue to discuss and talk about what amenities and what things will be here, that'll be part of the discussion, you know. And I think that what we want is when we have a finished product, it is one where the atmosphere of a family beach, the atmosphere where people can picnic and where people can enjoy each other in quiet and peace will be maintained.
You're also still taking feedback from the public here. So how is that going to be incorporated into what goes forward?
Well, what I think when we spoke to the group, we reached an agreement in terms of what they found acceptable. And, we said, look, come tonight, take a look. You may try to change what you send to us, but we're holding no expectations in that regard. But I think when we look at the beach plan in its totality, there are opportunities that will fit different communities. And I think it's about our job, really, as the government. It's not the BTA's job, it's not Park's job, is to find the formula that works. And I think that's what the key is.
What do you think about the crowd tonight?
No, I'm glad people came out, and I'm glad people are sharing their opinions. I mean, I'm even see a few OBA MPs and senators, and this is what I would love to see, Don, is we've managed to make international business relatively political free. I'd like to see tourism and education hit that spot. And part of what we've been doing in our ministry is to be a place where we consult with the opposition, we show them the bills in advance, we talk to them and try and hammer out some of the differences beforehand. And you may notice that the drama and the noise has kind of dialed down, mostly. I mean, politics is politics, but I think that if we can sort of get an understanding of where we're coming from, what we're trying to do, and get feedback on the front end, we may end up with a better product and less drama on the back end.
Well, thank you, Minister. Next up for us will be a couple representatives for the BTA. We really appreciate the Minister taking his time out to speak to us this evening.
Thanks, I appreciate you. Have a good night. All right.
Hey, evening, sir.
How you doing? You're jumping along? No.
Okay. All right, so
go down the dock and walk down the long arm to the cruise, where the cruise ship does, sitting right.
Yes, but it was raining.
But permission for that event to happen here is the Department of Parks. That's been a park. All right? That the minister has to approve that permit to use the park that way. BHW. Right? So the general, right? They've already been done. So they have bought a park. We have nothing to do with it. We have no decision making. That's literally nothing to do with it. I'm not going to go far. That's a fair point.
With us is Kevin Dallas and Glenn Jones from the Bermuda Tourism Authority. First of all, what's your impressions of how tonight's going?
I'm pretty pleased. I think the vendors have stepped up in a spectacular way. They all very much wanted to do this to show people what their beach experience would be like if they got the opportunity to operate on the beach. And on the turnout, it's also fantastic. I mean, I've already seen more people here than I thought might be here on the entire 2 hours, so I'm pretty pleased about that as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can only agree with Glenn. I think it's great to see people who are both for and against this kind of activity on the beaches come out and see what it's all about.
Why did you guys decide to go ahead with this event tonight, even though there was a decision made earlier today about not, taking Shelly Bay out of the beach vision?
Easy, the entrepreneurs. I mean, they wanted to do this and we wanted to be with them. They worked extremely hard to get to this point. Some of them have been frustrated with the bureaucracy that has prevented them from getting started on the beach. So I think none of them wanted to be this close to that reality and not actually show people what they can do. So it was an easy decision to keep this going, absolutely.
And it's also consistent with what the minister asked us to do this afternoon and what he said on the radio, which is actually, whether this plan looks like this or something else, there may be vending opportunities for these guys either here at Shelly Bay or on another beach. So it's a worthwhile opportunity to see what they can do.
I know, talking with you guys late last year about the beach vision that the BTA has set up, what's the overall beach vision strategy for Bermuda?
Well, it's really about three things. One is improving the experience for everybody who uses the beach, locals and visitors, creating opportunities for entrepreneurs, and also, which is always part of our remit, increasing the amount of money that visitors spend when they come to Bermuda. The plan's been around for a while, since 2016. It was in the National Tourism Plan of 2012 to develop a plan for the beaches, and it was also in the election platforms of both parties going into the 2017 election. So the general idea is not new. We haven't moved it that far forward, I have to admit, since 2016. And what we were planning here at Shelly Bay was really about moving that plan forward. And we hope ultimately that we're still able to move that plan forward. We think it's a solid plan. It had lots of consultation. A lot of people agree with it. The environmental groups, civil servants, the public. So we'll just have to get back to work on it.
Now, did the area MPs sign off on what you originally had planned to do here?
Well, we consulted with the MPs. We consulted with the local community. I think how they feel about it now is probably a question better for the MPs themselves.
So, with this being taken out of what you had originally planned for the beach vision, how is that going to change? Are you looking at another beach? Because you had 5 beaches targeted.
Right. I think maybe we're going to need some time to think that through. But one of the things I think will be a priority going forward is looking for opportunities for these entrepreneurs in the beach economy somewhere. And I think we have partners in government to do that. So I think that's where our initial priority will be.
Yeah, I agree.
Overall, if people come out and they've enjoyed this and they're saying, well, maybe we want this for Shelly Bay or maybe we want this at some other beach. How pleased are you guys going to be with it?
Well, we're actually going to ask people's opinions before they leave here today, so we'll get some good data, we hope. We'll see what people think. I mean, there have been some aha moments that I've witnessed for myself where, someone goes over to Tarzan Boat Rentals, they actually see the equipment that he's thinking about renting.
It turns out it wasn't a power boat.
It was like, oh, is this it? So that's why we thought it was so important to do this, because, explaining it in words and actually touching and feeling it are two different things. And so it's going to be interesting to see what people think after they've had this experience.
I would say there was probably a bit of misinformation that was being put out there about everything that you were trying to do, and some of those things had already been off the table, like no alcohol sold at the beach, umbrellas and things. How disappointed are you with that? The misinformation sort of stemmed.
We do this all the time, right? I mean, we are pushing lots of initiatives forward on lots of fronts. We are pretty used to the fact that actually things often take on a life of their own, and it is a constant effort to inform and reinform and bring people back to the core of what an idea was. So this is just another of those things.
All right, Kevin Dallas and Glenn Jones from the Bermuda Tourism Authority, and thank you, gentlemen, for talking to us tonight.
Thanks for coming.
My turn next, gentlemen.
Hi, we're here with Ashley of Ashley's Lemonade, Bermuda's most successful young entrepreneur, and we're going to talk to her. You can see the line; it stretches back there. She's a little bit busy, so she can't actually stop and talk to us the whole time. Ashley, how do you feel like tonight's gone for you guys?
It's been good so far. We've had nonstop lines and just been giving the amazing customer service we love to give our customers, and seeing how it will be.
What do you think about the crowd that's out here lined up for you?
It's a really great turnout, and I'm really excited to serve everyone. Hi, how are you? What's up? Just play lemonade.
Now, the decision was made earlier today not to have the concessions basically at Shelly Bay. What was your reaction when you heard the news?
It was understandable from where I saw the point of view where the Hamilton Parish residents were coming from, and I do respect it, and I just hoped that we will be considered for any events that they have in their area, either at the beach or at their field, and we'll be welcome back again. And then as well as we hope to cater our lemonade at one of our many beaches around Bermuda. We have a lot of beautiful beaches, and hopefully we'll be considered for one of those. Would you like a vodka?
Okay, so that was Ashley from Ashley's Lemonade. You can see, again, the line was really long. We'll walk over this way, hopefully talk to a couple of the other vendors here. We're here with Kemar from Smoke and Barrel. Kemar, how do you think things have gone so far for you? You got a lot of chicken on the grill there.
We got a lot of chicken on the grill, but we kept it simple, and we kept it, I guess, simple. And as long as you keep it simple and consistent, then you can get the customer what they want.
What do you think about the crowd that's out here tonight to sample your work?
It's a very decent crowd. It's a good mix of, I think, the community, but also a lot of government officials. I think everybody came out to support more than to protest, definitely. And I think it's just something that's going to work for everybody because everybody's got to eat.
Now, a decision was made earlier today just to limit the amount of concessions that are here. What was your reaction when you heard the news?
What was that?
A decision was made earlier today
Yeah.
about limiting the number of concessions from what they originally planned.
Eliminating some of them?
Yes.
I'm not even aware of what's been eliminated and what's being added. I just knew that at the end of the day we had to come down here and do a job, so that's what we're here to do. We'll deal with everything else later.
Now, if somebody's coming to Smoke and Barrel during the regular week,
Yeah.
what's your favorite thing for you that you like to make and eat?
Everything. Everything. Yes.
Let's go take a look. I'm here with Lorenzo from Tarzan Boats. Lorenzo, why don't you tell us a little bit about the type of things that you were hoping to offer here at Shelly Bay?
Okay, well, these little inflatable bumper boats are for the little ones, ages 2 to 6. Basically, it's shallow water. It fits Shelly Bay, and it fits the little ones. So what happens is it's just a little propelled motor on their back. They sit in it, and then they just float around. They'll be barricaded with lifeguards, so that it's safe, and that way the parents can still watch from the shoreline.
So, is there like a switch that turns the...
Yeah, basically what they would do is press the little button. One side presses it for the propeller to go, the other side squirts water out of it. Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun for the little ones.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking to bring, a lot of fun to Shelly Bay,
Now, have you done this anywhere else on the island?
No, I haven't. This will be my first venture.
When did you come up with the idea to do this?
Basically, just from Tarzan Boat, which is another water apparatus that we'll be looking to do, which is a much larger boat for older children and older adults, or if you can say the older kids. which consists of, you know, 2 trampolines, a rope swing, spiral slide, cargo nets, and stuff like that.
Now, I know, like, talking to some of the people that weren't happy with all the proposals, they were worried about the boats or paddle boards or something that were some of the things that they were talking about possibly causing injuries, but this looks pretty.
Oh yeah. Also, we are looking for paddle boards and kayaks, but they'll be on tours. You know, they won't be floating around where the swimmers go. They'll be mainly going towards Bayless Bay or in Flats Inlet, you know, away from the swimmers and stuff like that. You definitely have to sanction off on the side so that it's an entry point so that it doesn't obstruct the swimmers.
Now, what do you think about the opportunity that was presented to the entrepreneurs here to offer something at Shelly Bay?
I think it's a great opportunity for us. It brings a lot of value to Shelly Bay. It brings something different, something that is needed in this parish, especially with all the vendors that are here. I feel that they're fit to be here. You know, I feel that it's needed down Shelly Bay. You know, my community has been looking for something to do, and